Previously on TurtleChunks, I fletched over 330,000 oak shield bows to fletch an elder shield bow, rolled into my next chunk, the Champions Guild, got 30 mining for mithril ore, then rolled a new chunk, the Wizard's Tower. A nice easy chunk for old school RuneScape, but possibly the worst chunk I could have rolled on RuneScape 3. But now it is time to show you some progress. First off, I am changing the layout of my videos slightly. I am going to be doing all of the progress of one account first, then move on to the other account. After that, I will be doing a summary at the end of the video. And with this, that is my first best in slot, leather boots. I am now completing Imp Catcher for my next best in slot, the Amulet of Accuracy. And that is also another 2 chunk tasks completed. The next 4 tasks I can complete by killing this lesser demon. Obtain and wear a rune med helm. The drop rate on the rune med helm is 1 in 128. I got this on my 18th kill. Obtain a mithril square shield at a drop rate of 1 in 128. I got it on kill 87. And obtain a mithril chain body. This is also a 1 in 128 drop rate. Unfortunately, I went a bit dry and I ran out of runes. Because of that, I decided I would start on my cooking grind. I need 45 cooking to bake a meat pizza. The best way for me to train cooking is by killing this chicken in the Wizard's Tower basement. While the chicken respawns, I also killed this wizard down here to try get some extra runes. I then cook the chickens on one of the logs from upstairs, and finally run it down to the bank, because I'm an Iron Man, that's what I do, I hoard. But anyway, here is a little montage. I cut out a bunch of these levels because this was taking way too long and I could not think of anything important to talk about. So have fun with the levels flying around from random corners. And with that last bit of cooking, that is 45 cooking, which means I can now cook my meat pizza. I don't know why it requires 45 cooking to put a piece of chicken on some pizza, but that is chunk task completed. And with the cooking task completed, it is back to the lesser demon to get my last drop, the mithril chain body. And with that drop, that is the last chunk task I can complete. I got this on kill count 258, which is about 2 times dry. So that means I completed this chunk on the 19th of December 2025. Now let's have a quick look at the remaining tasks in my chunk picker. First off, there's 70 farming for poison ivy. I also need to make some forester rations. And finally, a hard lumberage diary, which is grow the belladonna. As you know, farming is passive on these chunk accounts, so I will be rolling a new chunk on Old School RuneScape this episode. And that concludes the Old School RuneScape part of this video for now. So let's see how I did on RuneScape 3. And these are my first steps over the bridge to the Wizard's Tower. And honestly, I didn't waste much time, I just wanted to get in and start doing some quests. The first quest I will be doing is Rune Mysteries. If this was old school RuneScape, I would need to start this quest in Lumbridge and also make my way up to Varrock. But now the whole quest can be done from the comfort of this single chunk. The quest starts with a mage called Ariane, who is one of the 7 signature heroes of RuneScape. She is capable of precognition and has had a vision that the Wizard's Tower is in danger. Unfortunately for Ariane, she is forbidden to enter the Wizard's Tower by Archmage Cedrador. After having a conversation with the resident lesser demon, and has now been accused of being a Zamorakian. But anyway, to make a long story short, I need to talk to a few old wizards, learn the piano, and steal a key to get into the old Wizard's Tower. After that, I need to cast some spells at some strange lights, go back and play the piano badly to distract the old wizards while Ariana stuffs around with some stuff that she shouldn't. And that is quest complete. And now we start our second quest, Rune Memories. Now we are going to help Ariane once again by stealing a bunch of stuff from the ruins and learning a bunch of interesting lore about the old tower's downfall. What this means is I did all the running around while she just hovered in the tower's beam of light telling me what to do. While I was stealing all of this cool loot, I was able to watch some old memories from the old tower and relay that information back to her. After we watch the memory of what happened to the old tower, Ariane is struck by lightning and falls into a comatose state. After going to get help from the Wizard's Tower, Ariane decided to go full rave mode and party all the way up the Wizard's Tower. To calm her down, I needed to give her a combination of special runes. Once we got to the top of the tower, she has come to her senses, and that is quest complete. With all of the questing out of the way, it is now time for some best in slot items. From the spell wisps, we need wizard's gloves and wizard's boots. These spell wisps will also be extremely useful for runes later on. Another best in slot is the leather boots. Now that I have collected all of that, I need to look into the crafting. The chunk picker was giving me a task of 84 crafting. That was a surprise to me, so I needed to look into it. The method for crafting was to chisel pure essence into fragments. So with that knowledge, I went and collected some pure essence from Cedridor's chest and started chiseling. The crafting menu states that you get 0.1 experience per essence, but after cutting a few inventories, I was getting 0 experience. After this, I checked out the wiki and it turns out you get 0 experience from chiseling the pure essence. This is amazing news for me because if I had to do this training method, I would need to cut 10 essence per 1 experience. And level 84 in a skill requires nearly 3 million experience, meaning I would have to chisel nearly 30 million essence. So 84 crafting is on the backlog. There is also a bunch of achievements that need to be done, but they are all quite simple, like going to the top floor of the Wizard's Tower. But I think it is now time to start one of the main grinds of this chunk, 105 rune crafting. Alongside the 105 rune crafting, I will need to get a bunch of collection logs. First up, from Wizard Phoenix, I need a full set of wicked robes, the massive pouch, and all 3 runic staves. The Greater Runic Staff is going to be my best in slot, requiring 75 magic and 90 rune crafting to equipped. Also need to get Tier 1 Esteem. This is the most expensive achievement and also the most useless. It is purely cosmetic, and the only benefit to it is that it is required for the Trimmed Completionist Cape, which, let's be honest, is never going to happen. Now, from Wizard Rancet's shop, there are a few other things I need. The Portal Redirection Scroll, the Master Runecrafter Outfit. This is a skilling outfit and gives you an extra 5% experience while wearing the full set. And finally, the Hungry Hood. This is what requires the 105 rune crafting. And now it is time to check out the rune span. I honestly think this is the best way for a chunk-locked Iron Man to train rune crafting. It is extremely AFK, it is great experience per hour, especially at higher levels, and you don't have to mine any rune essence or collect any talismans. All you do is pick up some of this rune essence in the minigame and siphon from the S-lings and the nodes. Siphoning from the S-lings is slower experience, but it is needed to collect large amounts of rune essence for siphoning the nodes. Every time you siphon 5 runes from an S-ling, you receive an extra 50 rune essence. The wiki states you can make up to 56k experience per hour from level 1. And at 95 rune crafting, that can get up to 138k experience per hour. With all of that useful information out of the way, I am going to start skipping ahead to some more important milestones, because watching someone get 23.6 million experience in rune crafting is not even slightly interesting. The first big milestone is 50 rune crafting. Another useful thing that can be done in RuneSpan is something called the Rune Sphere. This is an event that can be done once a day, and it is very similar to the Shooting Star event. Once you deplete the rune sphere, you can hand in a max of 1000 rune dust to collect 25k rune crafting experience. There is also an achievement for doing this 25 times. Another important thing to know about the rune span is the yellow wizard. He will call out around every 10 minutes, and when you talk to him, he will ask for 10 runes. If you give him the runes he asks for, you get extra experience. If you do not have the runes he requires, just give him the highest tier runes you have, because you still get experience. And this is where I get 60 rune crafting. And now it is time to buy some of my first items with my rune span points. First I buy the Wicked Hood, as it is a teleport to the Wizard's Tower. And I also buy the Master Runecrafter hat, because you always have to start with the hat. Plus, this piece also gives me a 1% rune crafting experience bonus. Now, I have some bad news to tell you all. As you can see, I was playing with the Wicked Hood because I remembered you can use it to teleport to the Wizard's Tower. And until the 16th of March 2026, you could also collect free runes from the hood every day. Unfortunately, I did forget about that, and I could have saved myself a lot of time if I did remember. But anyway, that is the home teleport of shame. Hopefully I don't do that again. And this is 66 rune crafting. This now gives me access to the top 4 of the rune span. That means I now have access to all of the best runes, and all I need to do now is get a higher rune crafting level. And that is finally enough points for me to buy the second piece of the Master Runecrafting outfit, the Master Runecrafter robe. And here is a nice 69 runecrafting, and here is 70 runecrafting. I just purchased myself a new skirt. And now the final piece, the Master Runecrafter boots for the 5% runecrafting experience boost. This is 80 runecrafting. And here is 90 rune crafting. This here is a pretty big level. That is 92 rune crafting. Halfway to 99. Now it is time to unlock something else. The high level runespan portal. That is also another chunk task completed. Unfortunately, I was recording the wrong screen at the time, but I did get the hand in 25 rune dust to the rune sphere achievement. I really botched up this clip, so apologies. And that is 98 rune crafting, halfway to 105. And a quick talk to the wizard for 99 rune crafting. And now it is time to go get my skill cape. So this is actually the first time I've ever gotten 99 rune crafting on any account. And honestly, I don't think it was that bad. And now it is time to purchase the most expensive but the most useless item in the shops, rank 1 esteem. You are probably wondering why I am here. I am not done with the rune span yet, but I do require 75 magic for the greater runic staff. After spending all of that time in the rune span, I decided to take a short break and quickly knock that out. Well, that was a very short break. But here is 105 rune crafting. I am glad that is done, but now I have a few chunk tasks to tick off. First, let's quickly finish the 75 magic. Now it is time to go visit Wizard Phoenix. I need to buy the last 3 wicked pieces. That is the cape, the robe top, and the robe bottom. Now I need to buy the lesser runic staff, the runic staff, and the greater runic staff. The greater runic staff is also my best in slot staff. And finally, the last thing from this shop, the massive pouch. And finally, the last thing, the reason I needed the 105 rune crafting, the hungry hood. And with all of that bought out, it is now time to tick off a bunch of tasks in the chunk picker. Another task is stealing Cedrador stones at 99 rune crafting. And finally, I need to buy the large and giant rune crafting pouches. Unfortunately, I was recording the wrong screen when I bought them, but you can see me ticking them off here. All up, the 105 rune crafting grind took me about 3 months. I started on the 11th of December 2025 and finished on the 15th of March 2026. During those 3 months, me and my girlfriend also moved back to Australia after spending almost 2 years living in London. I am glad to be back home and I finally have my own room to record. So hopefully you'll hear a bit more live commentary in the next episode. While we lived in London, we were living in a studio apartment. So my computer was set up in the living room / kitchen / bedroom, so it was not ideal for recording, especially when you live with someone else. But anyway, let's get back to the important stuff. RuneScape. Now that I am completely done with rune crafting, I still have one other task to complete. I need to unlock the Archmage title. For this, you are required to have level 99 rune crafting and level 99 magic. And if you are wondering what a title looks like in RuneScape 3, it is this. As you can see, it is a very exciting thing to unlock. And that is the last thing I wanted to show on RuneScape 3, but before I go, I just wanted to quickly jump back to old school RuneScape. This was recorded a couple of days ago on the 30th of June 2026. And you will get to hear some live commentary, so enjoy that. Alright, so I've got 2 tasks to do here. First is pick the Belladonna for a hard achievement diary, and it does not work, supposedly. Oh, there we go. Make some Forester's rations, pick some Belladonna. So that's completed. Make some Forester rations. Alright, let's see what we get. The only one I really want is the farm. I do not think this one is too bad. Alright, so this is a very easy chunk. Not what I was wanting. I was hoping for the Felidor farm so that I have something to do while I am doing my other chunks on RuneScape 3. And finally, should I keep rolling forward on old school RuneScape just so that I am not sitting there for another 6 months doing nothing? If I do this, I will obviously follow through with the same chunks on RuneScape 3 once I get there. The only issue with this is that I already know that for RuneScape 3, the West Varrock chunk unlocks another large grind. If you could leave your thoughts in the comments, that would be amazing. And last thing, these are our 2 cats. We have Kiki on the left and then Bobbit on the right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I will have the next video out sometime before the end of the year.